Good afternoon, folks. Welcome back. We're going to take a little look at the latest offering from Zen Studios, which is Pinball FX. This is not a remake, but a reimagining. I don't know what they called this, but they're basically just going back to like, hey, we're not going to go Pinball FX 2, 3. We're just going to call it Pinball FX. So we're going to take a look at that here on the Steam Deck. It launched midnight last night here on the Pacific time zone. So I was able to jump on because, I was just up at that time and I thought I'll just jump in, start playing around with it. Zen was kind enough last time, not this time. They were kind enough to send out a code for 30 days access to Pinball FX on the PlayStation 5. So that was nice to be able to get a chance to see, what they were doing with it, with like 4K resolution and all of that stuff, which it looks fantastic. I will say that's where the game shines. If you have access to a PS5, an Xbox Series XS, even a PS4 probably in that sense. PS5 would be probably the better of the two. And if you've got probably a PC, funny enough, with like a 30 series, it's not going to do 1080 or 4K at 4K 60 FPS on a 2080 Ti. I know that because that's what I have in here, and I could not make that happen, which is kind of crazy. So, but we're not here to talk about either of those or any of those platforms. We're here to talk about Steam Deck and how does it run on the Steam Deck itself. And actually, it's pretty good. It's not bad. So I know we're waiting for folks to jump in. I decided to do this at lunch just to kind of like hit as many time zones as possible for those who view. And we've got great viewers from the UK and Europe and obviously here on the West Coast and the East Coast and the Midwest. So hopefully, and don't forget about the mountain time. So it's nice to try to do this in the daytime. And it's obviously a little less crowded for people streaming necessarily here in the US because most people have day jobs. Let's see. I wanted to take a look. Let me do one thing here really fast. I'm just going to update something and then we'll jump in. But we will take a look at the offering. So let's jump into the... I also have Pinball FX3 on here as well. We can do some comparison. Now, this is all going to be on the base level since we're running on a Steam Deck at 720p. So it's not going to be like, there's a massive difference in terms of like, yeah, we're comparing 4K to 720p. It's not anything like that, or 1080p or whatever you could have. It's going to be 720p to 720p, which I think is probably the best way. But let me do this really fast. Shouldn't take but a minute. I'm going to tweet out the stream just so everybody gets that. And then we can jump in, just take a look at the offering, right? It's not a massive difference, like I said, but the 4K is really the winner. If you like having your games in 4K, it looks fantastic. And I was really excited about that. But the problem is with that, you now have to come up with a way to play 4K on like a virtual pinball or something like that. And I'm not necessarily leery, but I'm waiting to see the real benefit to having that new ALP or At Games Legends pinball table that's coming out. They haven't put it up for order yet, but it is a nice virtual pinball cabinet. It looks like that will do 4K and it'll take advantage of Pinball FX, which is really nice. So that'll be interesting. I do not have my lights on, just so you know. I think it looks okay on my cam. It's just they're really bright, and I'm trying to, since I'm doing most of my streams in the day, and I've got 3 big windows right in front of me and around me. I don't really have to do that anymore. I don't think. I was trying it, but I need it for when I'm doing the top-down recording to have all those lights, but not necessarily to do streams because they're in the day. And it's getting, sunnier in Seattle. It's not sunny yet, but eventually it will be. Someday, that sun's going to come out and stay for more than 1 minute. Let's take a look at the store page. So just to kind of get on the same level playing ground, you know, the one thing about Pinball FX is the same thing that it was in Pinball FX 3. You do have a free client that you can download. So everybody can check it out for free. And the one nice thing about this is that Pinball FX has a 1-day pass that Zen is giving everybody. So, well, I had it. I don't know if it's because I had bought stuff before. It'd be a really crappy thing if you bought all the other tables and you just get one-day pass. I think they're giving it to everybody. So you can try everything out for 1 day, 24 hours, and get a chance to see all the different tables, get a chance to see the new physics, play it on multiple types of machines, so forth, right? So the free client, though, once that pass kind of thing, set that pass to the side, the free client comes with 2 tables, and I believe we'll have to go and take a look at them. I forget the 2. There's Tutorial, it's like Wild West, and then the one where it's the 2 kids and the witch in the forest. I can't remember off the top of my head, but those are the 2 that you can play, I think, as much as you want. So you'd even be able to do tournaments and things like that, which are part of this game and has been part of the others in the past. But tournaments definitely seem to be a little bit better in Pinball FX, this one that we're looking at. Then you've got your packs. So tons of packs, right? You're going to basically be able to buy, you know, single tables if like it's a licensed one, like this one is here from who is this, Midway, for the Twilight Zone. Is that the deal that they have? I think it is. Then you've got kind of, or Williams, I think Williams, sorry. Then you've got their own custom ones like Godzilla. These are the new ones that they've just put out. You've got Crypta the Necrodancer, which is a single table. So Godzilla, I think, has 3. The World War Z is like a single table, stuff like that. So you've got a bunch of different options. Then here's your price points. They even put them into like bundles if there's the large group of like the Star Wars ones where you can buy like the Thrill of the Hunt, which includes the Mandalorian only, but then you can buy like the Pinball FX Star Wars Pinball Balance of the Force, which I think comes with 3 for $9.99. So there's a lot of different combinations, right, that you can jump into. And here's just the one thing about it. I own 100 tables on Pinball FX3. For me, unless these are on deep discount, like sales, and they start doing the same thing they did with Pinball FX3, which I hope they do, I probably won't be buying any table that I already own. I'm not going to rebuy these. I don't think it's worth that. And we'll talk about that and kind of look at Pinball. We'll start with Pinball FX, and we'll even check out Pinball FX3 on the Steam Deck. And you, like I said, you can see the difference in why, like, there may not be a reason to upgrade for tables you already own. So that's going to be the big thing. So let's jump out of here. Let's start the game up, and then we'll check it out. There we go. So it was nice to see it, though. I mean, I think there's a lot of people interested in it that like pinball. Obviously, the whole home arcade community that has pinball tables. There's the V-Pin communities. There's, you know, there are communities that have like setups to be able to play these as close to the real thing as possible, and they're really good. I have mine set up. I'm not showing it right now. I'm having an issue with the PC that I'm using. It keeps losing the dot matrix screen, and I don't know why. And I can't get it to. I've messed with it since last night. It worked for a minute and then disappeared. It's done it before. I think it's a Windows update that's causing this issue with this little screen that I have, like an 8-inch screen in there. It's like a touch screen that I put in, and that's what I use for the DMD. But I am going to try and put together a video for those who have been asking for it for a while of, hey, can you use your Steam Deck as your pinball, virtual pinball cabinet like Brains to be able to play this type of game from Steam. And I believe everything's there now, and I've got one part on order that's going to be here tomorrow. And we'll show it in 2 different ways is what I'm envisioning it. So that's, yeah, So now we're in the main screen, very similar to PlayStation 5 or the other platforms. It's all the same, it's all the same game, but you have kind of this virtual room that you're in. You have one table that's sitting there that's generic, and it takes on whatever skin that you start the game up in. And then you've got a bunch of shelves that you can put up digital knickknacks that you unlock. I think you can even buy some. We'll take a look at the shop. So let's take a look at that right now. So the shop has, obviously all of your games that you can buy. And right now, I don't think I have to pay for any of them because I have that 1-day pass that Zen gave out to everybody that downloads the game. And then you have so you can buy all your tables. Then you have pinball coins. These coins are to buy pinball pass and other stuff in the game. And then you've got the pinball passes, which are like annual pass. So this is where ridiculous, and this is just not Zen, but this is where the ridiculous scenario of like, hey, let me trade in real dollars into fake dollars and then buy passes with fake dollars. I'm not a huge fan of this. I worked for a company, they're good people, but they screwed over so many consumers. I'm not going to talk about that, but with this digital currency, when they decided to get rid of it, consumers were left hanging, like they thought they had Bitcoins, and those coins weren't worth anything, and they didn't even get any of the money back, and some of them never knew that they were being rebuilt. And this kind of thing is just really not good for gaming. It's good for business. It's not good for consumers. You look over on mobile, everybody does like 3 different types of currency. At least they're not doing that here, but there's no reason to trade dollars into fake currency except to get people to give you more, and hopefully they never spend it, so you eventually take it back in later on. Maybe some people in business, I mean, if I was Zen, I would want people to spend it, but I would probably never even put it into the snare. I'd just either have like, hey, you can buy tables for cash using Steam's platform, or you can buy your annual pass, your monthly pass using Steam's platform for cash. They're still being charged 30%, as far as I'm aware, if you buy the fake virtual currency or not. So 30% is 30% no matter what way you go about it. It's not going to change. That's my rant on this kind of thing, where it's ridiculous. It just makes no sense. Pinball tables, though, right now you can purchase those for cash through the platform. You don't have to buy the funny money and do the pass transaction and all that crap. If you just want to buy the tables outright, you can buy them through their platform. The pinball pass, like I said, is 30 days or 1 year, $1,200. I mean, the other thing you do this kind of virtual currency thing for is so people don't know what they're spending, right? Like you kind of hide everything in the background. And if we go in here and we look at like $1,200, what's $1,200 going to cost us? I haven't done $109. So this is what it was on the PlayStation. $109 for an annual pass. I mean, at some point, if they do put the game on sale, the table's on sale, I was able to probably buy every table for Pinball FX 3 and own them and be able to play them forever. Well, as long as forever lasts on my PC or Zen doesn't take down the game or stop it from working. In that sense, for probably $100 or less. Buy every table. 100 tables, basically around $1 each, except for Indiana Jones. But, that's... I don't see this as being a really good deal. The monthly one, let's just put a scenario together where it's like, hey, you've got your kids coming home from college, or they live with you, or you're with your buddies and you live in a house or something. Everybody likes to play pinball. In summer, there's going to be more time to play, so 30 days for like $15. And have access to pretty much every table. Now there are some, and we'll talk about those as we go to the table, but that's not so bad of a deal. But the year, I can't see doing that. Even though it's cheaper in the long run, it's still ridiculous because you'll probably be able to buy, if they do the same thing they did last time, which is usually what happens when sales on Steam start to soften, or sales of any platform start to soften. How do you make sales? You put shit on sale, right? So eventually they will go to that because they'll be forced to. It'll just be an economic push saying, hey, well, we got to keep this thing going, we got bills to pay, and maybe we're not getting enough people that want to participate in the monthly or annual pass. Let's just put the tables on sale. We'll do this every Steam summer sale, winter sale, and a random sale where it's just about us, and we'll get more money that way. They're most likely going to do the same thing. And let's see here. And I know their initial thought, maybe they're thinking like, hey, we don't have to because we got these passes. I start to think when they see less and less traction with that, they're going to change and turn around quickly and start putting the tables up. Then you have your different little backgrounds, things like that for your virtual area we were talking about, right? So you can go in here and use your coins. What is that? 10 coins to buy that. So I guess here maybe if you really like digital knickknacks, maybe it's worth buying a handful of coins or $50 or something like that. You never know. So that's kind of the store in general. I know. We're out of the nasty stuff. I really get ticked off about some of that because I know the back end of done it, right? I know why you put this together. I know how the circle jerk over on LinkedIn of executives loves to sit there and just talk about, oh, microtransactions are going to help us and they make us so much money. It's not good for consumers. It's not. There are some ways it can be good, but in the end, for something like this, just allow people to pay for the tables. They'll be happier. They won't have to sit there and argue with you. Maybe on mobile this would work better, where that model is kind of inherent, that you just want to have smaller tidbits and microtransactions work that way, or in-app purchase with microtransactions works better. But for PC gamers, and trying to force something for console gamers, it's a little bit, but still, I don't see the audience that plays pinball liking the idea, but I could be wrong. Let's see. So we've got Zen Originals. You've got your brace yourself. So I guess here's the idea. So Zen Originals, these are their own licensed games. And you've got other ones that they essentially create. There's no table for Necrodancer as far as I know in the real world. But they created it with the IP. And then they've done the same thing for like DreamWorks. They've done the same thing for the Gearbox titles, which are like Borderlands. They just license it and they create it themselves. Pinball, Ponies, My Little Pony, the Kong. These are not, as far as I know, these are not the original tables of Godzilla or the new ones. And then even your Marvel ones. Now the Marvel ones are unique. As we said, we talked about this. If you have the Pinball Pass, that in this sense, this version of Pinball FX does not give you access to the Marvel pinball games. You have to purchase them to be able to play them as much as you want. So regardless, even if you've got the pass, again, being $100 a year or $15 a month, you're not getting access to everything and you're missing out on all these. And that's why they say trial underneath it. Now, over on Pinball FX3, I own them all, so I don't really care, but that's kind of an issue. You got your Paramount, Peanuts, Snoopy, Star Wars. The Star Wars are included in the pass. Anyone that doesn't say trial is included in the pass right now since I have it. These are the Williams tables, so these are actual tables in the real world. And then there's like Indiana Jones. Now, Indiana Jones is one of those issues where like the IP, you have to buy it. You can't include it in a membership or subscription type of thing. So there's only one outside of the Marvel tables right now that you have to buy. All the Marvel tables you have to buy. So let's just go ahead and I guess we'll take a look at tournaments. Tournaments, much better designed for tournaments. I do like this, where it's a little bit more visual. It does take a little bit of time to sync up. This could be my internet, it could be the Steam Deck. In essence, but the Steam Deck's hardwired. So it should be pretty fast. You can set up your own. You can put a lot of how many players. You can have it limited. You can have it, the amount of time, how many days it'll run. I've got one running here for 12 more hours. It's a Theater of Magic, just classic mode, and I've got my score up on there. So 227,757,000 done very well. It looks really good. You can even search by ID. You can look at like, hey, how much time is left on one. How can we do this or that? Take a look at like another way to sort these. Again, it's really slow on this. Even though there's a ton of them, we're just making them right now. Time. We'll just, you know, you get the idea. That's what you do. And then you've got the events, which was always fun. This was a nice thing from Pinball FX 3. I'm sure Pinball FX 2 had this one. I really didn't play a lot of that when it was actually accessible, other than Pirate, I think. Oh yeah, Sorcerer's Lair is the other free table. So that one and Wild West are the two free tables. But you can go in here and do these to complete, and it's a nice little challenge. You get like different rules, things like that. I think they do it a little bit differently, but it's a nice little thing. And then you've got your collectibles, and these are where you do the unlocks and you can dress up your table. So what I said about this is Pinball FX is kind of the combination of like Pinball FX 3 and Pinball FX VR, even though there's no VR in this game, because they had this room in VR where your tables would sit, you can see them, but then you have still the menu system like here from the original Pinball FX 3. So let's go ahead and jump into it today. And we'll start with one. I guess let's start with one. We'll go through the ones that are unique to the table as far as what I do, or to this game. So first one is
Pinball Noir.
Pinball Noir is it's not to replace anything. It's probably not my favorite table of the new creations, although I like their creation stuff. I think they do a good job. Now you'll notice that they don't do like the backboards.
I was thinking that I was out of work again when she stepped into my office. She was really something.
I forgot about that.
A genuine knockout.
Just start it.
Only one bullet.
I'm using a controller.
The chances are slim, but
Just fun with it. Steam Deck obviously has its own controller built into it. There were people asking about lag, controller lag. I didn't see that.
fine. A gratis ball for the suckers.
You can, definitely play it at 60 frames per
That's
second.
gone for sure.
It does dip here and there. I think when you're playing, it doesn't. So that's really the
Only one bullet. The chances are slim, but
You can watch that.
ball one
Telemetry
locked.
up in the
Only one bullet. The chances are slim, but
I like those tables. They're pretty good. You do have your different viewpoints. We'll take a look at that in a second.
you gotta concentrate.
The other thing that they've done is they've included, and this is only really for people that have cabinets or just extra screens that they want to use. They've included cabinet mode without having to do anything. Last time to have cabinet mode, you had to reach out to them via email to get, as far as I remember, to get a code, and then you put the code in and it unlocked Pinball FX 3. This time it's automatically built in. It's much better in terms of setting up the screens. You have a very easy way to use your controller to move the screens into position and to make sure it fits right. So I'm pretty happy about that. That is a nice feature. They could have, I kind of think that they could have updated Pinball FX 3 to have the same type of scenario, but maybe it's something unique to it that they couldn't.
All lost.
But it works really well on this. It's already built in. So that's one good benefit about Pinball FX. And if you haven't ever played these or you haven't
Only
ever
one
bought any
bullet. The chances are slim,
I would tell
but
you that you might as well
never
go with
zero.
Pinball FX because the 4K scenario is fantastic. It looks great. They support
Magna save activated.
HDR. There's a lot of nice quality of life improvements. Cabinet mode already built into it. The tournaments and the challenges are pretty nice the way they have it set up now. And the tables are fantastic.
Too weak.
It does take a beefier PC to run it at 60 FPS though. The PS5 obviously has a little bit, they optimize it a little bit differently. It probably does not PC cam. I don't even remember if it had the ray tracing. I'd have to go back in and check it out. So there could be some downsides there, but not too many. And like I said, if you got a nice beefy PC with a 30 series and probably a 3070, maybe a 3060, I don't know. You're going to be able to play it at 4K.
Hi, darling.
You ought to be a movie star.
Thank you, my lovely.
Those alleys are dangerous.
For me? Don't be
Probably plays in
ridiculous.
4K.
But it's very charming that you're
So
concerned.
you have to drop it down to like 1440p. You're ready to do 1440p. That's the first of the new Pinball Noir. The controller I'm using, as always, is that 8-bit do or 8-bit do ultimate controller. And you do have, you can set it up in different ways to control it. The right, left triggers or bumpers can be used to activate the flippers. On the Steam Deck, the same thing. On the Steam Deck, I don't know why, I feel like the triggers are more comfortable to use, and they have it set up to be like a hair trigger, which is kind of nice. So you don't have to fully depress it to be able to make them fire. So it works very much like your bumpers. They feel soft, but they're not bad. On a controller, though, this controller, I'm using the bumpers at the top for some reason. It just feels fun. Maybe just more ergonomic. I think that sense. So, Sky Pirates. I think this is. I can't remember. I think Sky Pirates.
Sky Pirates, treasures of the cloud.
It's one of the ones I did. If it's on Pinball FX3, I never really played it. There wasn't a tournament or a challenge
Welcome
or
aboard,
something like that to draw my interest to it. But yeah, looks really good in 4K. I mean, it looks really good on the Steam Deck, especially with the smaller when you're playing it on the deck with the screen. At 720p, this is probably going to look almost just like Pinball FX3. So there's not real benefit to it.
Skill
there,
shot.
right?
Oi, the lane
Which
is
makes it
flashing over
nice
there.
for the
Hit it.
ALP, the
Hey,
Games Legend
where
Pinball
did you
have, 'cause
hide
it,
that?
I think it only supports up to 1080p and 720p, which is
Get
fine.
back in there.
But for the 4K one that's coming out in the summer, you'd obviously want to have
Gold,
a PC
gold,
maybe,
and
right? So
more
you can take
gold.
full advantage.
Hey,
So you can take full
I
advantage
can't
of
believe
the
this.
capabilities. Steam Deck.
The wind is picking up again. Aye, let's go.
Let's go.
Where did you learn to aim? Arr.
Well, like I said, we'll go through, since we got the ability to stream this today, we'll go through all the new tables, and then we'll start talking about like some comparison. We'll play some tables that are on Pinball FX3, and then we'll fire up Pinball FX3 at the end and play those tables and just kind of run through comparison. I wish that one thing they would have done. Okay, don't. I get like there's a lot of effort. Usually I'm fully in support of like.
I'm just the worst
getting it
pirate.
right. I get that there's reworked FX,
A new opportunity
reworked
awaits.
physics.
Hey,
you've got your
where did you
4K.
find
You've got all this stuff, and maybe that's why you're
Where
charging
did you
the
learn
tables
to
again.
aim?
You won't give
Arr.
anybody access to the tables
That's
you have.
close
Bring them
enough.
forward. It would have been nice to have an option to upgrade your tables, so maybe you weren't paying like the full $10 for 3 of the creations. Maybe you were paying only $5 because you already own them on Pinball FX3. Some people wouldn't even stomach that. I could at least see that aspect of it.
I'll take that. Thank you very
But
much.
at bare minimum, what they should have done was brought all these new tables over to Pinball FX3. So people that already own 100 tables on there could have just bought the new tables. That's a licensing thing.
Let's
It's pretty
switch
simple.
that,
They
shall
wouldn't
we?
have had to negotiate that in a license. They would have just sold it. Right? They would have just included it, saying, "Hey, it's another platform. We want to continue to sell it on there, and we're going to charge full price for it. You still get your
Change,
license
of course.
IP fee, rev share, whatever it is, and you'll be a happy IP owner. IP owner would be
I'm just the worst
it was on
pirate.
Pinball FX3 or Pinball FX. They don't care. But Zen did because obviously they wanted to
We
have
got all the
a
gold
reason
and
to
all
drive
the
people
fame.
over, repurchase.
We are the lords of the sky.
It's a dirty secret. It's easily known by everyone. And not being down. I think this is a great game. I think if you're out there and you want to play pinball, you should get this one. Oh, no audio. No audio from the game Overkill. Sorry. See my mic. Can you hear me? Low audio. Gotcha. Let me see if I can adjust that. You're welcome. You let me know if that's better. Otherwise, I have another control that I can mess with. So those are two of them. There's one more raft. The other guys, I think it was. That was a new creation table. You can barely hear me. You can kind of hear the game. Really, hold on. I know why. This will teach me not to, let's see if that's any better. How about there? Oh, that's too low. How about there? Is that better? I was messing with this because I'm doing some voiceover work, and I changed my settings on the microphone itself, so I screwed that up. But yeah, let me know if that works. I can also turn up the gain more if we need to, but we'll start a table here. So, Grim Tales, there's Sorcerer's Lair, Biolab, I know that was on there. Grim Tales, I think, is a new one as well. Wrath of the Elder Gods is new. Sounds better, good, thank you. And then Curse of the Mummy is new. And then the rest of them, I think, are all there. So let's take a look at these three, and then we'll move down. We'll start looking at Crypto the next Necrodancer and stuff like that.
Grim Tales.
But yeah, the new tables, I like all of them. Pretty happy with it. But I would not be buying the ones I already own, rebuying, until they're super cheap. This is a dark table.
Skill shot. Grim Tales.
This table,
Once
I don't know.
upon a time,
On
there was
4K,
a
I bet
witch
this looks
who
really good.
locked
On
Princess
here,
Chamomile in the tower of her castle.
I don't know.
Go,
the map
brave
or
knight.
whatever,
Save
the
Chamomile.
playfield is just a
Don't
little
move.
too dark for me. I'd have to brighten it up if I was to enjoy it, but I probably wouldn't play too much of this table. Depends on how fun it is, but it just, it's unappealing right away. Oh, we haven't looked at the different viewpoints. So obviously still similar viewpoints, I think, across the board. There's not really much has changed. There's like 7 or 8. I guess there's 8 if you count the first one, that's usually the wide version, I think we call it. View 1 wide.
Shoot right orbit.
See, this is more of the close follow-up. I don't even know what view this is. Pop up and say, oh, view 3. This is view 4. Again, a little bit less movement, more just the camera like tilting up
Once
and down.
upon a time, the king had a daughter, but the evil
View
witch
5.
cursed her.
You
When
kind
the
of get a
girl
little
pricked
bit of
her
everything.
finger,
It still
she fell
follows the
asleep
ball,
so
and it just pans
deeply,
up and down.
the roses grew around her.
View 6 is
Free the
definitely following
princess
ball.
from the grip of the roses.
I never really liked
Jet
playing this
bumpers
way.
multi-ball.
Not that there's an issue with it, I'm just never. Then you got view 1. Back to that. So I guess for the creation tables, there may only be 6. Yeah, I think there's only 6. But for the midway, or the Williams tables, for example, there's like 8. I haven't even had a chance to play this one, so I don't know the game itself.
Yes!
We're just taking quick
Finally!
looks though, so. Into ball bonus.
Go,
Yeah,
brave
if
knight.
I was
Save
going to
chamomile.
start playing it, I would definitely buy Pinball FX. I think it's a quality product. It's just, and I did a review on Steam over there just to kind of talk about that. It's a quality product. There's nothing wrong with this game, in my opinion. It's just so many people already own Pinball FX3 that really are interested in this.
Don't move.
And they're kind of like, you know, I own 80% of these tables already, most likely, and you know, I really wanted to have everything in one app instead of multiple apps. This is the same dilemma you have on the old age complaint about like, well, I might like other things about Android phones, but if I've already spent tons of money on iTunes and I have all my photos in there and I have all the other stuff, it's just a pain for me to use a secondary solution. So I'm going to stick with iPhone because
brave
everything's
knight
there.
set
right?
off to his
They've hooked you
adventure
in
to
and they've
rescue
kept you
her.
with your own like, media that you want to keep, rather than switching all the way over. And vice versa. Like if you're an Android person and you find iPhone interesting, but you've got everything in Google, you're going to be like, well, why do I want to take the time and move this? And maybe some things don't move over. Yeah. Or I don't get the benefits of having. Oh,
Little
God.
Red Riding Hood needed to visit her grandmother, who lived in
Again,
the woods.
just pinball.
On
but
the road, she took some flowers.
Things
but
to
the wolf
consider.
was menacing her. Help Little Red Riding Hood get rid of the wolf
I'm
and
pretty
reach
sure
grandmother's
Zen
house,
Studios
where she
was
can
like,
have
yeah, we've
some
considered
yummy
all that
apple
stuff.
pie.
Trust me, they
Shoot
had
right,
to have
Ramp.
talked about everything that every consumer's talked
The
about.
wolf
They're just like,
got
we'd
you.
rather make money than worry about what consumers really desire. Because sometimes for companies, what is good for the consumer is not good for you, and vice
And
versa.
I lived happily ever after.
All right. So, let's see. The next table, I do like Wrath of the Elder Gods. That's really one that I've played a lot. I'm probably going to buy that one when this one-day pass ends up stopping eventually. I do like this one
Wrath of the Elder.
because I'm a big Cthulhu fan, right? Like Mythos and Cosmic Horror and stuff like that. Like last week was really cool because I was talking about this on Tuesday's stream, had that whole Lovecraftian days, bought a ton of Lovecraft stuff. I mean, every day since that was announced till even today while we're playing this, I've been playing something that has to do with Lovecraft. Either it was a game or something within a game. So it's definitely something I appreciate. I know that there's still some games that are on sale from that sale. So even though Steam's not promoting it, the developers left their games on sale probably through next Monday.
Help is here.
Or this Monday coming, sorry. But yeah, this table, I like this. This plays really well. And it looks really good. So I give them credit, like, hey, they've done a good job with this one. Let's see another view. So this is that higher viewpoint, which I don't mind. I don't like it when the table is moving. So it's just not, maybe for TV, maybe a lot of people that play on PlayStation or a console like that because of the widescreen format. But when I'm playing, obviously, on my virtual pinball cabinet, I'm playing it in what would be considered tape mode or whatever. So it's the orientation is vertical instead of horizontal.
Do not get lost in what is real and what is an illusion.
Like I said, there were people that were bringing up like delay or lag. I'm not feeling it. And here it's maybe a little bit different because these are new tables. But I did go through and played. I have probably 200 hours on the one single table of like Theater of Magic because I love that as a real world pinball machine.
You have to remember,
And,
otherwise I dare not think about it.
I played so much of it years ago, like every day, probably 200 hours or more of just the actual
There are
table.
new personnel in
So,
the
I
abandoned
really enjoyed
Kingston
that.
Tower.
I
It
know
is
that table
honestly
very
an
well,
improvement.
and I played it on here, and it doesn't feel like there's any lag. So unless that's like one table that is different from everybody
Help
else,
is here.
oh my God.
You could live forever.
I don't like that. Keeps throwing me up in that corner. Get something going. But yeah, that table I know fairly well, and I don't feel any lag or delay on it, so I don't know what
The
people are
structure
actually
causes
calling
it
out.
pain.
I haven't noticed
Hurry,
it.
examine it
I
from
wouldn't
every
doubt
side.
that somebody
I will try to
does.
hold them off.
I may just not be as, you know,
My wits leave me. Something
I may not just
horrible
be as
casts its
sensitive
shadow
to
on
that
us.
lag as some others.
Oh, it's you. I escaped, but barely.
Overkill, I'm not sure if you're still here, but have you given it a try?
Unfortunate.
Okay, so that was the table there. And then the last, they would consider their own home creations, is the last new one is Curse of the Mummy.
Curse of the Mummy.
Alright, let's check this one. It's kind of designed similar to no, Curse of the Mummy's been around. I've played this is on Pinball FX, so this is not a new table, sorry. I was looking, I've played this before. Let's jump out of that one. So Curse of the Mummy, yes, they've had that before. That is on Pinball FX 3. So those are the 3 new ones that are four new ones. I think these are all brand new. Wrath of the Elder Gods is my favorite out of that. So then there's Crypt of the Necrodancer, which if you're unfamiliar with Crypt of the Necrodancer, it's a great indie game, PC game or console. And it's fantastic. The music, it's a rhythm-based game. It's excellent. And it's kind of cool how they've done this
I am
one.
ready.
It was, unique that they went and got this IP from these guys. But I think it's a great idea. It's a great take. It's got those kind of 2D sprite. Stop it. We've got to start to unlock parts of the table. I've done a little bit of this. It's just going to take me some time to remember. We've got to take out all those skeletons up there 3 times, if I'm not mistaken. The soundtrack is great. I can see why they did this. It's a really cool idea. And I think it goes off of parts. It's not. It's a little bit different design. You gotta do that.
Correct multi-ball. The crypt is
As
mine.
soon as you get multi, all you lose. There's some secrets here about break these purple blocks that are in our way. I think this table opens up very similar to, if I'm not mistaken, there's a point where you open it up and you can go down, like in Haunted House or Black Hole. There's another secondary level. I haven't been able to get to that, but I did see some images that look like there was something like that.
Cool.
Let's see. Okay, now that we've got that, we can get the one behind it. I'm not a big person to use nudge, so probably do a lot better, but I never use it.
Got lost already?
Up. I think I ran out of time. Metal coffee mug hitting the mic stand. So yeah, that's Crypto the Necrodancer. That's a fun table. I like that one. That one definitely I'll buy. I'm curious to see this running on all of the back screen and all that stuff, the DMD and everything. I think it'll look good. You do still have to furnish. So for anybody that is familiar with cabinet mode on Pinball FX 3, you do still have to furnish your back box screens. So then they've got How to Train Your Dragon, Trolls, and Kung Fu Panda.
How to Train Your Dragon Pinball.
It's a deal they did with DreamWorks. So these are new, right? No. Yes. God, I can't remember the amount. I have to look at the tables that I have on Pinball FX 3.
You can't even throw one of these.
Okay, fine, but this will throw it for me. Mild calibration issue.
There it is. Ranger Dragon. Yep.
I hope you're hungry. Okay.
So that feeds the dragon.
Astrid.
There were a couple noticeable or notable tables
Here is
missing
another ball.
that I saw.
Gosh.
One was
Oh,
paranormal.
gods. Oh, no.
I don't know why they didn't include paranormal. It's one of theirs. Maybe they'll launch it afterwards or something like that. But paranormal is an excellent table. That's probably the table I play the most
What's the first
Of the
thing you're going to
creations.
need?
A doctor?
of the Zen Studio creations, like their own home in-house games. And yeah, I don't know why they don't have it. But I guess it's to be like, they want to do releases of content most likely. I mean, they had 100 tables on Pinball FX 3. I'm not 100% sure how many are on here. Maybe, let's think if there's 24, we'll say 25 of the Marvel and 25 of the Star Wars. I don't know if that's the right amount or not. But like, say if there's those, that's 50. And then they've got their
All
own
lost.
table creations. There's probably about
You can't even throw one of
15 or
these.
18
Okay,
of those.
fine, but this will throw it for me. Mild calibration issue.
And there's a bunch of like other ones, the Williams tables. I mean, they're probably in the close to 89, 85.
Welcome to Dragon
range.
Training.
I'm curious if they'll like stick to about 100 for this platform. Indiana Jones ended up being the 100th game
Fire!
or table for Pinball FX 3. It sat at 99 for what, 2 years, something like that. They didn't launch any new tables, and then randomly, because they probably did the deal here, they got Indiana
hope you're
Jones,
hungry.
and they were
Okay.
Again, they were able to put it on as many platforms as they wanted, and it was an expensive table. One table for $15, I think, is what it was. That's let's just
Behind
say
these
this. I'm not
doors are
saying
just
that
a
it's
few
cheap
of the
or that's
many dragons
expensive
you will
because
learn to fight.
we get so many in different packs, but that IP must have cost them a lot because it's a pretty expensive table given the past track record of
Astrid.
how much other tables ran in bundles. I think all of the all of the Star Wars tables are maybe like $2 a table? $50 for all 20-some, 25. or
Your
whatever.
most important piece of equipment
It's
is
been
your
so long
shield.
since I bought them.
Magna save
And
activated.
I did end up buying them on PC and on
I
Steam
did it.
Deck. Or not Steam Deck, sorry. PC and on the Switch.
lost.
So I have them on Switch too for Pinball FX.
Can't even throw one of these.
Okay, fine, but this will throw it for me. Mild calibration issue.
Try a little harder.
I hope you're hungry. Okay.
Feeding that dragon.
Not so fast.
Oh gosh! Oh gods! Oh no!
And again, not trying to excel and open up things within the table or get too far. Just taking a look at the ones that are brand new to Pinball FX, and then we're going to take a quick look at some of the tables that are on Pinball FX 3, and then jump over to Pinball FX 3 at the
I
end.
hope you're hungry.
Just to check out, like,
Okay.
really, you know, are there any massive quality or fidelity differences or anything like that? The only fidelity difference I can tell you I've seen is the assets are for 4K, so it does look amazing. All of these tables look amazing on 4K display. That's a huge benefit there, especially on PC. If you do want to buy these just for your Steam Deck, or you're thinking about buying them for your Steam Deck, if you have a PC, you're going to get a huge advantage of going with Pinball FX because they do look really good on 4K or in 4K on a 4K
The only
display.
upsides are the pets.
You know, you're
While
not going to get
other
that
places
with Pinball
have
FX3.
ponies or parrots,
Is it worth the
We
same
have
amount or the upgrade? and all that?
dragons.
Everybody's got to decide that. So that was the first DreamWorks. We'll take a look at the next one. There's a lot of, I mean, let's take a look here real fast before we jump into that. So there's, what is it, 14, not 15, 14 of their original creations here. Then you have Crypto the Necrodancer. That's almost like 15th, although it's an IP. Then you've got 3 here, so there's 6, that's 21, 22, 25. Then you've got how many of these? There's 5, 10, 15, 20, 23. So 45, 48, 49, 50. And then you've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 21. So what did I say? So 71. And then you've got 5, 6, so we're at 77. And you got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So what did we say? How many were we at? 77? So 77, and so there's more than, I think I might be counting wrong. There might be more than 100 here. Is there a way to use the table selector here? Let's see, all tables. These are all the new ones. So I guess these are all the ones that are different. They're not different, they're just new. Maybe because I haven't played them. That's why. Something like, I don't know. That's a weird thing there. But yeah, that's, my count must be off somehow. So go back to all. What do we say? There's 15 here. Crypto the Necrodancer. 15, and 6 is 21, 22, 25, and how many were there here? There was 23, so 48, 49, 50, and you've got these, and there was 10, 20, 21, so 71, and then 6 is 77. Let's just do this. 78 with Garfield, 79, 80, and then 85, 90, 95, 100, 105. There's 105 tables already available here, so they're well over that then. They're well over where they were when they ended Pinball FX 3. So, let's go back up here. We'll look at, where were we? Trolls.
Trolls Pinball.
Random trolls. Speaking of kid games, there's a, I don't know if you saw the new bundle over on Humble Bundle, but it's all a bunch of
happiest creatures the world has
kind
ever
of
known. The trolls.
games that
They
kids
love
would
nothing more than to
be,
sing and dance.
and, I mean,
hug,
kids being
sing,
somewhere
and
between
hug,
like the
and
age
dance,
of
and
20 and
Did
younger.
I mention
now,
that trolls
25
love to
and younger.
dance?
It's like Ben 10. There's like a My Little Pony game. It's a bundle. It's pretty cheap. It's like 8 games or 7 games for $10, but they're going to add more games in. I think there's going to be 10 total games. But right now it's like you pay the $10, you get access to 7 of them, and then they're going to unlock 3 more. This is the first time they've done that I can remember. I did pick it up. Obviously, I've got to get to updating that. This came out last night, so I was rushing to get kind of the video done and
Can't seem to make a good connection.
test it against pinball virtual, or the pinball table that I have, the virtual pinball cabinet. But unfortunately, that DMD is not working for me. I don't know why. It's not just this game; it's just not working at all. It just stopped. So we're gonna go about it a different way and showcase the Steam Deck with it in another video.
2 more.
And I have one little thing that we've got to figure out. Somebody's got to create. And the community
isn't
can
all
probably
pumpkins
pull it
and
together.
rainbows.
I'm sure somebody in the community. Actually, I could reach out to my one buddy. He can probably make it. But that will be in the upcoming video, which if I can get it done today, I'm going to try. And then have that up. Because obviously, it'll be most relevant while people are actually looking for the information on the table.
Multipliers rise.
So it's in my benefit, but it's also in the benefit of everybody else to see how it works together.
Hurry up. All scores are multiplied.
In the beginning, there
Trolls.
was silence.
Unless
Until
this
one
becomes a
day,
favorite game
someone
for
made a
everyone.
sound. Trolls' ancestors were so inspired by the sound, they took 6 strings. And those 6 strings had the power to control all music. They could play anything.
Nope.
The trolls'
Nope,
main
still
source of
right.
happiness comes from singing.
Why don't they do Smurfs? For me, that would be more relevant than Trolls. And Trolls are kind of,
Real
I
harmony
always thought it
takes
was an older
lots of
thing.
voices. Different voices.
I remember being
Classical,
younger, maybe not like a kid, but like
country.
in my 20s and Trolls were around. That was a while ago, so if I'm not mistaken, I don't pay attention to toys as much. I do pay attention to one guy that plays around with toys.
It looks like you've missed your
Mr. Home
kickback
Arcade.
opportunity.
I love his channel.
You
I
should
love
sing
watching
again. Oh,
his He-Man,
all
like
lost.
funny stuff because it's built for adults, but it's like for adults that like toys like He-Man from back in the day. God damn that dude. He makes me laugh all the time. But yeah, Smurfs would definitely be more of the pinball
I wonder
crowd
what the next sound will be.
that I would think.
Multipliers rise.
Smurfs were like 80s cartoons. Well, probably even, I don't know if they were in the 70s. I don't think so. I think they were an 80s thing. But maybe Trolls are more popular. Hey, Derek. How are you? Is there a way to enable Steam
Always a
Deck?
bright side.
Yes. Yeah, there is. It's definitely going to be in desktop mode on the Steam Deck. And I'm going to show a video tomorrow, hopefully,
See you
that
soon.
we'll go through that for people to watch. Because there's been a lot of people asking about it. I haven't done a lot of home arcade stuff in quite some time. Because I've definitely been focused on PC, Steam Deck, things like that, other games. But I will definitely do that, though. I will show like an ALP working in cabinet mode with the Steam Deck. Kung Fu Panda. And obviously Jack Black's cool. He's in what, Mario? The new Mario movie? He's the only thing I know about this game, or this IP. I've never watched the Kung Fu Panda. My son didn't watch it. But I do know Jack Black.
Your master.
Is what? The Panda? I forget what his name is. I don't even know if I ever knew what his name was. This table doesn't look too bad, though. I mean, it definitely looks nice. Let's change our viewpoint here a little bit. I kind of like it where it's a little bit longer. It's either the views that I like in Pinball FX are this one where it's a little bit more down and your background is further off.
You cannot leave. A real warrior never quits.
Or I like looking kind of like down on the table. And obviously, this comes into playing on a pinball cabinet itself. When you're playing in vertical orientation, you're going to get the full.
You cannot leave.
So it plays better. To me, it plays better.
Oh no.
Oh, it has Jack Black. I can hear him.
So you're the legendary dragon warrior. You cannot leave.
We must defend the village.
What is that thing
Hit
in
the
the middle? It's
bumpers.
like a gopher or something like that. Oh, we got multi-ball, and of course, as soon as we get multi-ball, we use everything.
You got nothing.
I just start kind of randomly, and this is even on a table, like on
The only
Theater of
souvenirs
Magic,
we
where I've played
collect
so
here
much of
are
it.
bloody
I should be
knuckles
much better at
broken
multi-ball,
bone.
but like I just start
Feel the thunder.
whacking, kind of slapping the flippers as fast as possible because the balls are just flying everywhere. Let's see if we can
Hit it, Paul.
something. All we're doing is we're stuck kind of in the middle. I don't know which lanes to jump into here. There's 6 lanes, so it's almost like the Family Guy
cannot leave.
design. Family Guy was
Why don't you
fun,
try
but
again?
man, it was
A little harder.
some of those to get through the story parts were
Of course I'm not the dragon
tough to
warrior.
continuously hit the
Who am I
same
kidding?
lane. There we go. Got some things going. I guess if I was concentrating, I'd probably play a little bit better. I know some people like to talk when they play pinball. Some people don't. I usually talk, but probably do play a little bit better when I'm just playing in the quiet by myself, right? VR is where you play by yourself. You don't have to talk. You're very focused on it, but I don't know if I played VR, Pinball
I probably
FX
sucked more
VR,
today than anyone in the history
and enjoy
of
it,
food.
but or I guess it's Pinball FX. Is it Pinball FX VR or Pinball FX 2 VR? I think it's Pinball FX 2. Oh, I think I hit replay. We're going to replay that. We're going to go to the next one. So the next 3 are brand new as well. They're with the deal. They're a deal with Gearbox, so the Borderlands developer. So there's more than Borderlands. There's one Borderlands table. There's Brother in Arms.
There were heroes
and then
born.
there's Homeworld. So yeah, it's kind of nice to be able to check all of these out with that one-day pinball pass.
What is it that
they gave
makes a
out.
great soldier?
I hope they continue with
Is
that
it his
because I think at
brain?
least people get a chance to see
Or his
what
heart?
the game's like, has to offer before they start to buy just all sorts of tables. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is like a yeah. So the ones here, I'm not sure if they're all like that, but I think the Borderlands are very similar. They're kind of like the Bethesda tables. They remind me a
It's
lot
my
of
job
that.
to keep you
Switch
alive.
off view. Funny enough, I thought
Fall
Brother
in
in
for a
Arms
sec,
was
guys.
Ubisoft title, RIP. I guess they just published it. Not enough steam. Yeah, same thing. The music definitely fits that. don't know. I'm trying to feel. Maybe there is some. I don't think there's any lag. I think it's just me playing crappy. No, it's just me. Because I can feel when I hit it, when I see it good. And it's the same as probably FX 3. But, you know, we're obviously we're going to try some of the tables that are available in there.
Fall in for a sec, guys.
I don't want this stream to be like hours and hours long, because if we sat here and tried to really play, it would take forever to get through them. Okay, so Borderlands is next, and I think this one really reminded me of like the Bethesda games, as far as I remember. It has like the two characters talking down at the bottom. It reminded me, I think, of the Fallout table.
Hey, you must be the new recruit.
That's what
I am a CL4PTP steward bot, but you can just call me General Claptrap of the Crimson Raiders. What's your name?
I'm glad that they put like some of that stuff in. Obviously, there's so many things that they could have went with. Tiny Tina would have been great too. I don't know if she's in this one. Obviously,
how's it
Moxie.
going? If I were you, and I'm super glad I'm not, I'd check that car over there.
Dodge this! Do it!
Oh, there it is in there.
Jump, recruit!
In my long sleep, shall I awaken?
Oh, I want that treasure chest.
Come see my tarp! Come at me!
Oh. It crashed. Somebody did report, or, well, not report to me, but I mean, like, put in the comments of one of the videos that their game crashed. That's the first time it's crashed on me. I can still hear the Steam Deck. So it actually did crash. Hold on. Let me think if I press that. So that's the... This should exit the game? Maybe not. Hold on. Let me try this. Yeah, that's the first crash that I've had. And that's been, you know, probably 2+ hours of gameplay, something like that, from last night to today. I was just trying to see if it was the Steam Deck dock that crashed, because sometimes that happens. But no, it was the actual Steam Deck. We're going to have to restart the whole thing. 1 sec. There we go. Let's see if this fires up now. But yeah, that was maybe that's a specific table. What they had said in the comment was that they duplicated the settings that I had. They went in and played, and it would crash the table. And obviously I'd played so many that I didn't see that, but it could be a very specific table. They didn't say what table crashed. So that was, I don't know, something I hadn't seen yet. Excuse me. So let's jump back in. Oh, got to connect the controller. Come on. There we go. The other interesting thing about this was the download that you did. There was nothing to... Well, because they give you the day pass, there wasn't anything to unlock. So you just basically, once you unlocked the day pass that they give you, then you had every table, access to everyone. They were already downloaded. There was nothing more to download. Let's see if we'll do the exact same thing. See if it crashes again on Borderlands, because that could be the table that they're talking about. And we'll try just for a few more minutes, or for another minute. We don't have to play any more Borderlands. We can jump over to that home world. I just want to see if it crashes again, because that could be what they were talking about. But yeah, as far as I know, I haven't had any crashes from that other than that just happened. Let's see, the Borderlands.
Crimson Raiders, roll!
All right. So we had to play how long? That was probably about
Continue.
3 minutes before it crashed.
Give it up, you thrush bug varmint!
Hyperion is not liable for any loss of appetite, lost time, memory loss,
I do
loss
like
of
some of the
life,
stuff they've
or
done
loss
with
of
the DMV.
spiritual
That's why I'm
faith from the
interested to see,
resurrection
like, some of
process.
these newer tables, how they're going to look on the DMV. Oh, it crashed again. So that table's crashing. It didn't hard lock up the Steam Deck. It just crashed to the menu. So there could be an issue with Borderlands. Let's try Homeworld. Since we've seen it crash twice, we'll just say that that one's problematic and move on. But that has been the only table so far. You know, we didn't go back through and play all of the older tables either. Just focusing on the new ones for anybody just joining. All right. So we're going to skip Borderlands. We'll jump to Homeworld. We'll check that one out. But yeah, Borderlands, that's a shame. Because that one definitely seems interesting. Oh, the Fallout table from Pinball FX 3 was pretty cool the way it was designed. I really like the Skyrim one out of all of those. Doom was okay, but the Skyrim one was the best table of the set of three, in my opinion. But Fallout was pretty cool. Let's see. Home.
To Higara. Our
All right.
glad to have you around.
Get the same thing now. This table.
Hyperspace successful. All systems online.
I don't know. It kind of has some ramps that remind me of the Mars table. I wish there was something that Zen would do to renegotiate some of the older tables. Like, I'd love to have the South Park tables from Pinball FX 2. There was also, what was the other one that was interesting from Pinball FX 2? I can't remember. I know the South Park ones were the bigger ones that I like. Aliens, obviously, from Pinball FX 3. I think they were in Pinball FX 2 as well. They should just do some kind of special deal, like limited time bundle. They're good for that because eventually they pulled Pinball FX 2, I think, off of Steam. And Pinball FX 3 came out, so there's no longer access to that unless you already own it. And I have a feeling like eventually they're going to do the same thing with Pinball FX 3. Maybe not here in the near future, but at some point they're going to go like, okay, you know, let's just pull it down. Kind of force everybody.
Roger that contact. We see it. Underway.
I wonder if they'll do any more Pinball VR because that was cool. It's a cool. Unfortunately, they never did more than like
On my way.
6 or so tables for that. But the ones that they did, like Paranormal, I was talking about how much I like that table from one of their creations. Fantastic in VR. It was very fun. Looked really good. Had no problem with it. weird soundtrack.
Destination confirmed.
I've never played, as far as I know, I've never played Homeworld.
Group 1 withdrawn.
Maybe that's what it sounds like all the time, but... Third ball here. See if we get any
Salvage
crashes.
target acquired.
Oh, what's this? Do I have to do something?
Got it. We're locked on
Oh,
here.
there we go. Pick up the, that's kind of cool. I haven't seen any of that before. Now, where do I have to deposit it? Because I think that's the thing. Like, you're going to have to... Oh, maybe you had to shoot up that left ramp to be able to do something with it.
That'll do it.
That's unfortunate, but at least it didn't crash like Borderlands. Okay, so, yeah, one of the new tables. Only one so far. We'll try My Little Pony. I know everybody's dying to see that one.
My Little Pony Pinball.
Random. I know a lot of people like it, but
I never leave home without my party cannon.
it's got one of those soundtracks.
Relax.
Like a
You're gonna do
like,
just fine.
Soundtrack
What
from
makes
the
you so sure?
2000.
Because I have faith in my friends, who also happen to be the best buckball players in Equestria.
Is that?
Yahoo!
Did they get
Hey, this game is easy.
I don't know.
All right.
I was trying to say, did they get Tiny Tina to do some
Well,
of the? I
hello
don't know
there,
the
Mr. Ball.
voice actress, but did they get Tiny Tina to do the voiceover for this? It sounds very close.
This game is a whole lot more fun than I thought it would be.
Right there,
It's
that's the
exactly
one.
as much fun as I
sounds
thought
pretty
it would
close.
be. A whole bunch.
Oh, it might be a different person, but if it's the same person, it's not when they do the high pitch stuff. But it sounds pretty close to Tiny Tina.
Great!
Just not the.
You can't beat us if we never give up.
There should be something different. Okay. Let's try a different view on this one. Oh, that looks nice. I did notice one thing. When you've got... and this might have always been a Pinball FX thing, but it's not in 4K, so it probably wouldn't have taken so much. When you're playing some of the tables in 4K,
You're gonna do just fine.
and you're in this type of view where you're seeing a lot of
makes you
action,
so
a lot of camera
sure?
movement,
Because
you're really
I
close
have
to
faith
the,
in my
the
friends,
assets,
who
you know,
also happen to be
table
the
and
best
everything.
buckball players in Equestria.
Right there, it sounds like Tiny Tina. But
This is so
it
exciting.
definitely kills the
Hey,
FPS.
This game is
Like when you
easy.
back out to
Well,
the one that I
hello there,
was
Mr.
on,
Ball. I
where
don't
it
think
was
our
like that
plan
really
is
high,
working.
you're back to 60. But if you're in a viewpoint like this, it definitely drops your FPS down. I did notice that on my big PC.
Great!
Oh, pie.
Good morning, little one.
And that table looks pretty good when it's up close.
Is there anything else we can do for you?
There's not really a relevant, what would you call it, subject matter or like
Ooh,
relevant
do you want more
content
juice?
choice for me.
You're gonna love it here, little gecko. What is it? Not fluffy enough?
The table's nice. I like the ramp configuration.
Who wants a feather massage?
It looks like it could be pretty quick.
Understanding begins with listening. Every adventure is heart-pounding, but so rewarding. Oh, so that's how it works. At least now we're back to just one problem. What shall we do to
Game over.
celebrate?
Okay, so
I vote for a
the
cake
next
walk.
table is going to be a single one they've licensed. Pretty sure. I think it's what was it? The two that were by themselves. Or no, Godzilla's next. That's right. These are the brand new ones. And then after that is World War Z and Snoopy. let's take a look at some of the Godzilla. I know this is interest for some because there are some of the home arcade YouTubers that are buying like real pinball tables now, and a lot of them are looking at Godzilla. This is Kong. I think only one person may have bought Godzilla. The rest of them went with like the new Stern Foo Fighters.
A strange energy source sustains Hollow Earth,
This one looks like
enabling
roughly,
life as powerful as the Titans. If we can contain this energy source, we will have a weapon to fight back. And we need Kong to lead us to it. This makes no sense. But we'll
as far as I know, this is using the King Kong IP, but it's a table created by. It's not a real world table. It's a table created by studios. They do a little bit more fantastic design, right? Like things that you probably would have a hard time making happen in a real table.
Kickback is lit.
Subterranean samples. And usually when I'm playing, especially on the pinball cabinet, I turn off the
That
the
was
numbers,
unexpected.
right? Like the score
Kick
that
back
keeps popping up. Nothing that's wrong with it, but
Look at all those shiny rocks.
just something
Swoop
that
in and
I don't
collect
wanna
them.
see
I
when I'm
wonder
playing
what
on
their
there. So
purpose
I'm trying to make it as
We
realistic
must
as
study them further.
possible in my head, you know.
Hey, that was expensive.
On the Steam Deck or on PC, or just sitting at the TV playing.
Sample collected.
see this.
Multipliers raised.
Speaking of TVs,
Well, that's gone.
I swear to God, everything has just been like one
Sample
issue after
collected.
another once you stop working.
Hey, that was
And,
expensive.
The 75-inch TV that I've had in our living room. It's probably been
He's cooling down.
It was a
Finally.
Vizio. It was a good deal. It was like $1,000 years ago, and they did an upgrade for it, so it supported HDR and all that stuff. So it's 4K TV, really nice.
This is Hollow Earth
Decent
launch
TV.
station. Prepare to launch.
And I was pretty happy with it, but it started to have problems maybe 2 years ago. Like the screen in the lower left corner, like I don't know if it's the LEDs because it's an LED TV. If it was the LEDs or whatever that went bad, but you could tell like when something was a white screen, it would be like darkish down in the corner of the left. It would be not black, like there was still something there, but you could see something was wrong. It lost some LEDs. And then
This makes no sense.
if you were watching anything else,
We'll take it.
you wouldn't be able to tell. So it never really bothered me. And then last night I was sitting here watching something when I was cooking dinner, and all of a sudden the screen goes. It's just I was watching YouTube.
Kickback is
Random
lit.
YouTube video.
There has to be another
and
way.
all of a sudden the screen like it was like orange and white, and it gets lines in it. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. Maybe it's just something with the Apple TV. or
Buckle up
something
for the
like
ride.
that.
Let's go.
So I turn it off. It keeps turning back on, but it's having some issue. So I was like, well, maybe if I unplug it, you know, allow it to drain the capacitors, give it a try, then see what happens.
Focus.
I did that.
Don't
It doesn't
give up
turn on
yet.
any longer, so it's dead. So that kind of sucks. That was like something out of nowhere. Like the other things that have happened. What has there been? There's been like a tree
Reverse
went
gravity
through the
propulsion.
roof. So I had to deal with that. This is all since, you know, I stopped working back in November.
Quick,
or December.
let's collect that surge of energy.
Clock's
Tree
ticking,
through
pal.
the roof. Tree lit.
No, not yet. There's still work to do.
TVs. What else was there? There was a bunch of stuff. Oh, tooth. I broke a crown, so I had to get a new crown. That was
Everybody
a
good?
cost.
Fall back.
Yeah, it's just been one thing
This
after
is not our fight anymore.
That's stuff that you want to deal with. But the TV was like, I don't really worry about it because all I do is watch like TV for like cooking dinner in the living room. You can see it from the kitchen. We don't normally sit there and watch it. So let's see. Godzilla versus Kong Pinball. There's another one.
Kong Pinball.
It's like the last thing you want to deal with. You're like, oh man, I'm not going to buy another TV.
Welcome, fellow Titan Chasers, to episode
'Cause
number
if I would buy
116 of
one,
the
yeah,
Titan
'cause I have
Trackers
my
podcast,
PS5
brought
in
to you
there.
by Lizzie. Still no
So I'll
confirmed
just move my
Titan
PS5
sightings,
out here
though
and
things
play it on
appear to
this,
be
but
heating up at Apex Cybernetics. We're hoping to get fresh info
If
to
I
you
did
from
buy
the
a
Apex
TV,
Insider at Titan
I want an
Truth within the
OLED.
next
Those are
few hours, so
couple
stay
$1,000.
tuned.
I'm not gonna
Skill
spend
shot
it.
attempt failed.
They do look really good. My buddy's got one. He had his PS5 on his OLED,
Ball saved.
and he had dark. I mean, he was susceptible to like having like super dark rooms. Not susceptible, but that's like his preference. Right? I don't think he has issues with like vision, like things like that. But his preference is having everything blacked out and that OLED just on high with HDR running and all that. And it looked really good. I'm like, man, that's what I want to get, but I never. And even with my monitor here that I bought before I was laid off, I ended up buying a nice IPS. It's an LG Ultra Gear. So it's a really good looking screen. It's like a 32-inch. I think it's 32. 4K, HDR, all the bells and whistles outside of OLED. Which OLED would have been nice, but OLED, the screen, the low screen, I think you can get it at 42. And where this sits and all the recording that I do at this table or this desk and how I have it set up, a 40. It might have been a 48. It was big. It would never fit here, so I didn't worry about it. I was like, They were pretty close in price though. This IPS was pretty expensive, but I got a really good deal on it. I think it was about 300 or 350 off. My son ended up getting, when he got like his college stuff, his tuition, money and everything like I had to pay for school, he had to buy like a new monitor. So he went with the same one. He's like, I'm going to start buying one too.
Please proceed to the nearest exit.
Okay.
Breaking news here, listeners. Godzilla
really
has been seen approaching the Apex facility
And it
in
does
Florida.
support like
Let's hope our friends over at Titan's podcast are
DLSS
no longer in the vicinity. This
and
Titan doesn't look like he's paying
or
a friendly
AMD's,
visit.
I forget what it is for the but something else that it connects with.
Shoot for the flashing lamp to perform a skill shot. Skill shot attempt failed.
So this is where
Bonus
I
multiplier
mainly
is
watch
increased.
everything because I'm mostly out here doing work unless somebody's home and I'm gonna cook dinner. Or
Proceed to the
something.
fallout shelter. Single file line.
Ball
Oh,
saved.
man, that was fast. So this is another table again, just using the IP. It's not a real world table, not a physical table out there. As far as I know. It's just one that's then created for using these IPs. And the one thing I don't think you can look up. Like on the Williams tables, you can like press up on the right stick while you're playing, and you can like look up at the actual.
That's all we've got
back
time for on
box.
Titan Trackers today, my
can't do that
wonderful
one.
listeners. Be sure to follow this podcast to hear about all the most recent sightings of these glorious Titans. And tune in tomorrow for all the latest Titan news.
Interesting. They put a story and everything around it. Okay, then the next one is the Godzilla table. Now again, this is not the Godzilla like official table. This is a recreation, or this is a creation by Zen for this table.
Godzilla Pinball.
How long have we been on? An hour and a half. It'll probably take us about 2 hours or so to go through the remainder, and then
Godzilla will take humanity's
Pinball
place
FX3
at the
and
top
do some
of the
comparison.
food chain, unless Apex can stop him.
This looks like a nice table, though. This one also did take a little bit more out for the process, the GPU. I don't know if it's the colors that they use or how fast it is, the movement, all the 3D stuff. There's wings and everything, the water moving in the background. But it definitely like had lower FPS, better, with 4K and that stuff, even on a better GPU. I don't know why we can't start it. What's going on?
King of the monsters. Apex predator of the oceans. Godzilla,
I think maybe I was
the
stuck on
savior
an
of
old
humanity.
play it was at the end of it. I hadn't closed out that game.
It'll take more than that to make the king give up. Looks like Godzilla's on
Yeah, it's
the
got a
move.
lot of nice
Careful.
ramps.
We don't want to make him
Everything,
angry.
it
We're only
reminds me
here
a
to
lot
observe.
of,
Sensor readings are off the charts.
Mars Attacks.
Nice work. Keep at it. That'll do some good.
Godzilla
And I don't know
is
why
here,
the references I come
attacking
up with
our
for these
facility.
Are. I mean, they may make it sound close, or may just have some others, but it just reminds me of it. Color palettes. Let's see. Yeah, if we use like the more lower, you can see it's below 60 right now. We're using a different view. This is what I'm talking about. Like with this table, even on like my PC rig with that 2080 Ti, if I was trying to play this in 4K, there was
He's
no way I
breached
could
the
have it at
outer
60.
walls. There's still the gates
But
to
then you
hold
back
him,
out
though.
a little bit higher with less movement, things like that, and it'll stay locked 60
He's charging up
on the Steam Deck here. So yeah, there are some tables that do. They depend on like the view that you're
doing
using.
great.
If they're going to be locked at 60.
Extra ball is charged.
And I
There can
don't
be
have
only
everything
one
set to
true
low.
king. Didn't appear
I guess
on our
that's another
radar,
thing.
but an interesting discovery
My
nonetheless.
review over on the
That'll
Steam
be a big one.
game
The
page
maglev train was hit.
said, hey, or
That'll
I think
slow
it was the
down our
review or the
evacuation of
Curator,
the secret project.
review kind of thing that you could do. I said that, hey, if you put everything on low, you're definitely going to be able to lock it in. So, yes, that's true. You don't have to
You
put it
have
on
no idea how much
to get it there.
carnage
You can
these
have it at medium
monsters can
settings
do.
with, I think it was shadows set to low, and still get 60.
He's breached the facility gates.
Whatever was in
Commence
the
emergency
video
evacuation.
I did
Come on, big guy.
that you can find here on the channel.
back
Then I went
up.
out earlier this morning. It's the same settings I'm using here, so let's take a look at that really fast. There it is. So it's a custom layout or custom setup because they have their preferences like low, medium, high. But this one is everything's set to medium except for shadow quality, which is set to low. And you can still get pretty much locked 60 if you do go into those lower, more, I don't know if you want to call it more interactive or engaging.
It'll take more than that to make the king give up.
It's not locking at 60. It's like
fascinating.
57, 58,
It's so
60.
terrifying at the same time.
It's not really far off, but it's not locked to 60. If
I
you're
doubt
this
that's
low
the last we've seen of him.
to the table. Okay, so it's Godzilla. I do like that table. I think that I'll probably buy that one or the set. I think you have to buy this one as a set.
He
of
will
3.
recover.
I don't care for Kong
It might
so
take
much,
1,000 years.
or
he will.
Godzilla versus Kong, but this Godzilla table is pretty good. Oh, I'm not connected for some reason. There we go. It just lost its connection for some reason to the servers for the high scores and stuff. So those were the 3 new. Then there's World War Z, Snoopy, and then we'll take a look at the 2 new ones here, which are Twilight and Addams Family, and then Garfield. So that'll cover all the new tables, and then we'll take a look at just a few comparisons on like Pinball FX 3 to some of the tables here. If I was just sitting down to play, that'd be a little bit different. I'd just spend the whole time. But I only play one table, really. 200, like I said, hours on Theater of Magic. But I probably wouldn't do that.
We gotta
unless
get
I had
out.
on my cabinet.
Silence.
I'd probably try. If I'm playing on the Steam Deck, I'll probably play all these new ones. Or at least the majority of them. Because they've all actually been pretty good. But, doing the math, I don't know. Like, you really can't tell unless you're looking at the Steam page how much.
Still got fighting.
If you've got like one of these day passes, they don't show you how much the tables are. But if you're on the Steam page, you can see it. And I bet more than likely with all the new tables, you're still going to come close to like $50, $60. Even if you don't buy like the Marvels and the Star Wars and all the other stuff.
No!
We go together. Keep your medkits handy.
Silence. We're good so
Yeah,
far.
like I said, nothing against I want people to play these however they want. If the monthly pass or the annual pass works for you and you'd play it and that's the only game you're ever going to play all year long or something like that, and you're going to get your money's worth out of the annual pass, then, and not forget that you're paying for it, right? Then by all means do that. But for me, I would probably be the person that would like sign up for the monthly. I'd play it one night.
Go get him.
Play a bunch of tables, and then I'd like stick to one table, and then I wouldn't play it for a week or two, and then play it again. And I probably wouldn't get the value of the $15 out for that month. And I don't know how they have it set up. I think it's set up as a subscription.
There's no way out of here.
No, it's not set up as a subscription because you have to have those coins. So that's the good thing there. At least they're not doing it as a subscription.
You're good to go.
You just have to buy the funny money and then change that out for the annual pass or the monthly pass or whatever. Oh, don't do that again.
No!
It's doing the same thing. It like bounces on that one and comes over. I gotta hold this left flipper up.
Just keep coming. We gotta fall back.
Oh, that was it. Okay. That one's okay. That reminds me of a little bit like the aliens table. Where there's a big area where the alien walks in the background and comes back.
Snoopy Pinball.
I think it was Alien 2, maybe. I'll have to look. We'll look at them when we go over to Pinball FX 3. Old Snoopy.
Everyone
Again,
has
an
to
odd
leave home.
choice. Like, I mean, I know that the age demographic of pinball enthusiasts
Snoopy's
probably fit
doghouse.
closer to
Start at
Snoopy
main
and
mode. Oh, brother.
Snoopy and than some other ones. And Garfield. Garfield would be another one.
There. Everyone has to leave home.
It's got. It looks like that you can maybe jump Snoopy's house.
Oh, brother.
I was trying to get that because back there's that. Looks like a third level.
It was a dark and
There's a
stormy
bat
night.
It might zoom into, and then you can keep it as like a baseball field up there. Shoot the doghouse. Oh,
Lost
I
again?
didn't see it come out. That
Rats.
sucked. I was thinking the ball was going to start on the launcher.
Everyone has to leave home.
Everybody has to leave home. I don't think that's true.
Shoot for Snoopy's doghouse. Start a main mode.
Oh, you got to hit Snoopy's house to do everything.
Ah!
God. There you go.
Good night, old pal. See you in the morning.
Okay. So there's the end of that. That DMD looks pretty good. Not, I don't know. I'd have to play more of it to see if I'd want to buy it. Just, I mean, I was probably a fan of Snoopy when I was a little kid. I'm sure that I had stuffed animal or something, but not really too many fond memories of Snoopy. So yeah, Twilight Zone. This is a new one. This is brand new. This one just launched today, I think, as well. There were a few that were brand new.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination.
And in the Williams fashion, you can press B and kind of get rid of all the fancy stuff that they do for like the Pinball FX. And this is more of the traditional stuff. Just put it back on. That door in the center, you can tell because they put the art design on the sides, and then that door will actually animate. And there'll be other things that are animated or do something different. And if you don't know where the door, God, that's so horrible. The door is the direct center part in the playfield. It doesn't necessarily look like a door when you get the table. So I think that's what the theme of like Twilight Zone was, a door. Opening into a different reality or whatever it was. So there are physical versions of this game. If you've never played these, this is a physical world table. So it's been out. It was probably, I don't know what year. My guess would be like 90s.
Are you ready to battle?
Mid to late 90s. It'll probably say somewhere in the descriptor. Usually they used to have a little bit of information on the Williams tables. Let's just go into it really fast. I want to see here. Does it say anything? Because the Williams tables used to have like this, yeah, zoom in kind of thing. So 93. They sold 15,235 units. So that's what I wanted to see. So 93 was that one. Go ahead and exit. So nothing else is, the only table that's caused the game to crash has been that goal so far. And I know I've played this, I played the other two previously, never had it crash, so. And I played this one. So it should be running fine on Adam's Family. I think this was the largest pinball game ever sold. If I'm not mistaken, they may say something about that, but I thought this was the most popular one.
Look, everyone,
so yeah, the Pinball FX stuff for this one, you've got Thing holding it while there's a golf club from Gomez, for example. But if you get rid of, if you hit A or B, it gets rid of it, and you just have your normal palm. This is the way the game would have been in the real world, obviously. And if you're wondering, I do have the copyright music for tables turned off. There's a setting, if you're a streamer or you're making videos, there's a setting to remove copyrighted music while you play. So that's why you don't hear maybe certain sounds or stuff like that. It's there if you turn it on, or if you turn it off, then you can hear all the sounds from the original stuff. Again, that was, I think we were on the 8 view. That's what that one was. On the Williams tables, you can see the DMD if you're on view 8. So it's kind of backed out a little bit, and if you look up there, I can't get my finger that way, at the top, the DMD is there. You can also press up on the right stick for the Williams tables to be able to see like the back glass. Yeah, the golf club thing is weird. I mean, I know that was part of his shtick, so to speak. But yeah, it's a weird design decision for it. Okay. And then the last one we're going to take a look at is Garfield. Nothing. I have to pay to play? God, what is this? Zen Studios? No free game? Yeah, let's go down. Where's Garfield? There he is.
Garfield Pinball.
I've worked with these people in the past.
Good morning, sunshine. Welcome to another fun-filled day with your favorite pet.
Would never do another Garfield license. It didn't do well, as far as I could tell, and yeah, they were just annoying. know like Garfield, like karting and things like that we've looked at on the channel. I mean, they're great games. They're fine games. Not that they're great games. They're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just, I like Garfield comics. I don't see the IP really doing well in digital. Now this one also reminds me of the Snoopy.
New set in place.
Snoopy. What was it?
Garfield, get help!
God, what was the other one that was like this? This one reminds me of the with as many lanes as it has, the Family Guy one.
Don't worry, Odie. It's not an avalanche. It's just my stomach rumbling.
Just randomly saying I love lasagna. Yeah, so, I mean, not that there's going to be much more, but, you know, the new tables, the things that we've seen on here on the Steam Deck, like, it runs fine. Like I said, you don't have to play super low settings.
Bad news.
You can do medium.
Garfield, we're all out of
with, like, shadows turned off.
You'll have to eat dog food today.
One issue is,
not
though,
for
if you're
all the
playing
lasagna in Italy.
in certain tables, like when you're at, like,
I'm
this
not
viewpoint,
impressed.
when you're really close in on the assets, Godzilla was one of them. It does drop below 60. Just slightly, like 58, 57, something like that. So, some points, you know, viewpoints can really depend on how well the game's going to, or the table's going to perform on the Steam Deck. But in general, I would be safe in saying that you get locked 60 of the Steam Deck for Pinball FX. So nobody should be worried about that.
Must be time for another nap.
But it really depends on if you already own all the other tables on Pinball FX3, you're going to be hard pressed to say, like, oh yeah, this is a great deal. Maybe just for like the new ones that we talked. But then, you know, if you're a brand new consumer of this, I would go with Pinball FX over Pinball FX3, definitely.
But I don't want to lose. It's not fair.
Poor Garfield. All right, so those are all the new tables. Now, let's take a look at like one or two of the let's look at Theater Map. Well, we'll save that one for last. That's my favorite. We'll actually do the tournament one that I have set up. Let's take a quick look at. Well, Wild West is Sorcerer's Lair is free for both, as far as I know. So let's take a look at this. I doubt there's going to be much you're going to see different here. You would be able to do this on your own. Like you'd be able to download Pinball FX 3 and Pinball FX
to the
to be able to see like Sorcerer's Lair. Because they've given it away. I think this one's going to have issues with it now. 60, it's fine. The ray tracing, I'm trying to think of like what I've seen with ray tracing in the game.
Where could Whisper be?
As far as I know, the ray tracing pertains to two things that I can see in the game. Like if you're playing on a higher end device, they don't have ray tracing. You can't enable it on Steam Deck yet. Maybe they will. I mean, Doom enabled ray tracing. There was a couple other games that have enabled it for Steam Deck, but this one does not. But if you're playing it on a higher end PC, and you have a card that does ray tracing, you mainly see it on the play field as the ball is rolling. The reflections there, and then in the actual pinball itself, you can see like the table.
I don't see Whisper anywhere.
Which is, it's both of them are cool, but it's something you really got to look for, and you got to know what you're looking at. You got to be like, oh yeah, I see it. You know, I'm following it so closely I can see it. It's such small,
take my hand.
Engagement to it, but it does make it look nice. if I would run out
Leaving so soon.
and go buy a, 4090 to be able to play this game at 60 FPS, 4K and all that. with ray
This
tracing.
secret passage may save you.
It wouldn't take that. It'd take like a 3070, like I said, but I don't know if I would go out and just buy and upgrade my card. for
Don't
that.
be afraid.
I can play 2080 at 1440p. My 2080 Ti at 1440p 60 with ray tracing, and it looks good. So I'm happy with that. So yeah, that's this table. We've seen a little bit of it. There's not going to be anything different as far as I can tell. But what we will do now is let's take a look at how much time we got. About 10 minutes left, about till we hit 2 hours. Let's take a look at the tournament mode, because that's what I put my tournament as, is the Theater of Magic. That's a Williams, so that's one of the licensed ones. That's on Pinball FX3 as well. So there's my tournament. And then we'll play a round on here, and then we'll jump over to Pinball FX3.
Welcome to the Theater of Magic.
There's that. Honestly, I think it looks, I don't know. I think for this table, Pinball FX3 looks better. I don't know why. Maybe I'm wrong, but again, you can turn that stuff on and off.
The theater awaits.
It's like the ultimate way to set up your pinball. Like, instead of upgrading your pinball machine with stuff off of eBay that people make, like printed stuff, 3D printed stuff, and new replacement items. You get it built into this already. Now, sometimes I can sit here and play this for a while. I'm not really trying to play, so we'll jump.
You have the magic. Amazing skill.
Here is another
Again, I'm not feeling anything laggy at all. Let's try to look closer. Okay, so you can see right here in this view, again, some of the tables, like the settings that we're using here, it's, on this table specifically, it's dropping into the 50s.
Nice performance is about to begin.
Shoot for the magic trunk.
If we're that close, if we're backing out, let's back up to level 8 where we can see the thing. We're locked at 60. So it is depending upon the view point where you're going to sit at. But let's do one thing before we get out.
Go for the center loop.
Let's go back to that viewpoint.
You must concentrate.
Like this one, where there's a lot of movement going around.
You must hurry up.
I think I was in the box.
It's magic.
Okay, let's do this. Let's drop the settings all the way down to low. There we go. So everything's off. Vertical sync. Everything's set to low over here with all anti-aliasing and all that set to off. So let's see what we get now. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see it with this viewpoint. We're still not locked at 60. So there are some instances, dependent upon the view that you're using, where the Steam Deck, even set to low, will not lock to 60. But if you go with a higher view, or like this is view 1, so this is your default view, it locks to 60. There's no issue there. And that was even with like medium settings. So, you know, take that as you will. Like, yes, it'll lock to 60 playing pinball, but it depends highly on the view. I don't think a lot of people will use the view that causes it to drop below 60. I don't think it's a preferred view. I don't know, but like I could not play.
Another ball.
What way was it? I think it was view 3. I cannot enjoyably play this way, where it's like moving up and down the table constantly. That's just too much.
The first ball is
Too much
lost.
shifting to me. But I don't know. Somebody may like it, and maybe they would be the person who would be like, ah, it's not locking the
Shoot for
60.
the magic trunk.
Oh, we might be able to do multi-ball.
The second ball is lost.
Let's see.
Make the ball vanish.
Yeah, this view, this movement is just crazy. Mistaken? I thought we already had two locked.
Vanish.
Let's see if we can. We should have had.
You have the magic.
Something's weird. It should be the bullseye. The box should be spun to the bullseye
Shoot into the trapdoor.
to magnetize the ball to go into
It's 2 o'clock.
multiplayer. That's strange. Or multi-ball. Let's see if we can make it out. I wanna try to lock it again to see what happens. Ah, but we're gonna lose it. Ah, damn. That's weird. It's on the second ball lock, it should spin to where the bullseye is on the screen or on the box up there. And then at that point it would kick off, like when you hit that magnetized part, then it would kick off multi-ball. I don't know. That was weird. But for the individual that did say that they had their game crash, there was one table that crashed using the settings that I had, set up, which I didn't know. So that was Borderlands. But Borderlands, let's just try it on default settings. I'm curious if it's something that I had changed before we jump over to Pinball FX 3 to kind of do some comparison. I'm going to reset everything to default. And let's see if Borderlands crashes. Because it crashed 2 times in a row.
Crimson Raiders, roll out!
On the settings, the medium/low settings that I was using. I'm going to imagine it'll crash again, but we'll see.
Hey, you must be the new recruit.
But yeah, you can see on their default
CL4PTP
settings,
Steward Bot, but
you're
you
getting
can just call me General
40 frames per
Claptrap of the Crimson Raiders.
I think it just
What's your
crashed.
name?
So that table crashes. It just crashed again. It didn't lock the Steam Deck up, but it crashed. So let's jump out of here really fast, and we'll just take a few minutes and look at Pinball FX 3 at those 2 tables that we were just looking at. Oh, sorry. Specifically, since we just saw Theater of Magic, we'll look at that one first, and then we'll look at that Sorcerer's Lair. That, again, those Sorcerer's Lair is free on both Pinball FX 3 and Pinball FX. You just download the app or the game, and you get those 2 tables for free on or the 1 table on each one, and you can do your own comparison. But there's not going to be really any difference, other than on the Steam Deck. There's not going to be any real difference. On a PC that can do up to 4K, you're going to be able to see a difference then, massive difference. Weird audio went out. So yeah, I own every table on this. So we could compare everything against, do a 1-to-1. That might be interesting. Maybe that'd be a long video. Oh my God. I can't even imagine doing that, but could do it. Let's see. Let's grab Theater of Magic first. So we're just playing this one, and the settings that we'll look at settings really fast here. Start a new game. Settings on Pinball FX 3, we have basically Shadows set to low, but we can bump those up. We can bump up the anti-aliasing. I can't remember what we need to have here. I don't think this stuff affects. I think Pinball FX 3 runs pretty well on here. Right. Yeah. So let's just go ahead and resume. There we go.
Welcome to the theater of magic.
Let's we're gonna change our viewpoints here and there. Yeah, but we're 60 here locked. And we've got it basically set to high. This is Pinball FX 3 at high settings. And let's go to the low viewpoint. Go to the lowest. I can see that they did change the tables. In terms of the viewpoints, you actually get a view similar to what you get with the created ones, the in-house games. So that's a difference there. The tables have different views. But they also, it causes performance issues. So we're like as low as we can be on the table right now. And we're in the follow me kind of mode with high settings, and we're locked at 60. So if you have a Steam Deck, if you're not interested in the new, maybe that's the way to look at it. If you have a Steam Deck and you're not interested in any of the new tables, which I would probably say be careful doing this, but you're going to get better performance on the Steam Deck with Pinball FX 3. If you're wanting the new tables, or if you want to kind of have something moving forward, and they may optimize stuff for the Steam Deck as well. So again, I'm not 100% sure how to talk to Zen, but that could be a reason. You know, just keep that in mind. Pinball FX 3 does seem to run better on the Steam Deck, just by a little bit.
You must concentrate.
Yeah, see there, both balls were locked, and now we have the target. This is the way multiplayer always worked in the, or multi-ball always worked in the game. I don't know why it didn't do that in the Pinball FX version. I wouldn't think they would change rules.
1 o'clock.
Or the mechanic. Can't get that to fire off. Come on. Ooh. I don't know what that was. That was me. My streaming software or actually. There we go. Multi-ball. Oh, I guess we can turn that stuff on. I do that. Yeah, even with the FX stuff turned on, it's not causing any issue. Use them all before you even get the bonus. Anybody likes this table or wants to learn more about this table, that is your best way to score. Throw it in the multi-ball, keep it going, and just constantly, every 10 or 15 seconds, you can reactivate the box to get the bonus for that. And you're talking somewhere between like a few 100 million and or a few tens of millions, and then 100 million. I think is the max. But it can really, if you can keep it in multi-ball, you'd be unstoppable for this table. But yeah, I mean, this runs much better than the other one on the Steam Deck. Does it look as good? That's a different question. But it does have different viewpoints, which makes me think they did remaster some of the art. Other than 4K, they actually did like do some, when they remastered the art, they did so they could use different viewpoints. So let's jump out of that and then look at Sorcerer's Lair. This would be the other one that we looked at. Where is it? Sorcerer's Lair.
Sorcerer's Lair.
And yeah, even if you don't want to buy any of these on anything, you can do this comparison yourself.
to the source
comparable to me, but I think FX does look better. And I know it looks damn better when it's on 4K. Let's see, we'll do this view right here. This is the chase view.
Leaving so soon.
Maybe this one. Yeah, this is the chase view. So yeah, on here, chase view 60. No problem. At 720p. But we were playing at 720p on the other. On
Take my hand.
Or Pinball FX, so as well.
Whisper isn't here yet.
Jump back over. This is really what I wanted to see, like how much of a difference, or if there was anything that we could see, because I hadn't looked at it that close. But yeah, there is the viewpoints. There's some of those, but let's jump back into Pinball FX one more time and do Sorcerer's Lair. I want to change that viewpoint to that again. I think it'll. My expectation is it won't hold 60. It'll do the same thing it did on the previous, on like Theater of Magic, where it'll like lose some frames being at that close proximity to the playfield. And I think probably we'll call it good. It's about all you can do with pinball. I mean, people like to play pinball themselves. I don't know if it'd be interesting watching somebody play pinball. If they're really good at the table, probably. But it's not like there's a story. Well, action. Well, there's a lot of action. I mean, I guess in some ways there are, but it's not like watching somebody play Borderlands or Resident Evil or something like that. But I kind of figured we'd take a look at it because it's brand new. And I hope to get that video up. I'm going to try and work on it today and get something up that will show like the Steam Deck powering like a pinball cabinet and having multiple screens. It shouldn't be too hard for me to make the adjustments. So, yeah, Borderlands crashes. That table crashes every time. But let's go to Sorcerer's Lair.
Sorcerer's Lair.
Let's look at our settings really fast because I think we're still on, or we're on default. Yes, we're on default. So let's drop this to low. For some reason it has a 1280 or 1920 by 1080. 1280 by 720. Low. Settings, everything's turned off, right? And on low. Yep. And it can do 60. So let's see what we get on Sorcerer's Lair here.
Leaving so
it's
soon.
Definitely a different look to it. There's some things, there's some noticeable differences when you play like good straight comparison.
Welcome to the Sorcerer's Lair.
Let's get us into the right view mode. The view, the low chase.
Come on.
Yeah, see, it dips just under 60. Well, it dipped it for a second. Maybe it'll be fine. Yeah, it's still on the 60. So their own creation tables will hold 60 with this low, more action-oriented, like chasing the ball.
Leaving
but like
so
for the
soon.
Williams one, Theater of Magic, they couldn't hold it. So, not all the tables are like that, I'm pretty sure, but you'd have to do a deeper dive into it. But again, I still don't think it's a reason not to buy the new Pinball FX on Steam Deck. I think
I don't see Whisper anywhere.
Again, I don't think a lot of people are going to play that way. I think probably the viewpoints, and I'd love to see data on this, but I think the viewpoints that are most popular are probably going to be 1, because nobody changes anything. Like that one right there.
Where could Whisper be?
View 2. That's about it. Those are the ones
Leaving so soon.
In my guess, to me that would be the way it would be. But yeah, I think it kind of covers over Pinball FX. Again, not bad. If you already got all the tables, though, it becomes a little bit of a pain. You know, I guess the one last thing we could do while we're signing out here is let's close it out and let's look on the Steam page to find out how much each of the packs cost that would have the new games. I still think we're going to be close to $50. What is that? Game info. Oh, DLC. That's what we wanted. Well, this is fine. This is fine. So there's 43 items you can buy. Let's go to list. There's no list. Oh, weird. Browse. Wow, they don't make this easy. Oh, here we go. Here we go. New releases. So what would we have to buy all the brand new tables? Secret Shadows. What does this have? No, I think we'd be okay with that one. We wouldn't have to buy that. So Indiana Jones, I mean, that's available in Pinball FX3, but that's a very expensive table. It's $15. You know what? There may be 3 more that are Sword and Fury. Swords and Fury. Was that of Swords of Fury? Was that on the Pinball FX3? The machine? Bride of Pinbot maybe not be on there? That might be 3 new ones as well. We'll look at that way. Adam's Family alone is $10. Twilight's $10, so we're 20. The DreamWorks, that's $35. You know, when you add the 15, so $35. We'll call World War Z 5, so that's $40. Garfield's $5, $45. Pony is $50. Snoopy's $55. Godzilla is $70. $75. $80. $85. So 85 there, and then let's see if the Bride of Pinbot, that may be a brand new one as well. So 85, 90, 95, 105 with World Cup. 105 just for the brand new tables. That's what you'd have to pay up front. So yeah, wait for them to go on sale. I don't know. There's a few on there that I would buy right away. And I might, you know, once this day pass ends, I might just buy it. And that's going to probably end up being Crypt of the Necrodancer for $5, Wrath of the Elder Gods for $5. I don't think Godzilla I'm worried about playing. Although I like that Godzilla table. I don't like the other 2 so much, so I probably won't do that one. So, I don't know. Like Twilight Zone and Adam's Family are not as exciting to me. So I think I could just live with just the 2 for now until they start to go on sale. So I'll probably drop 10 more bucks on Pinball FX and then just play those separately. Unfortunately, you can't launch them from within Pinball FX3. That kind of sucks. But I do like that they do have 4K and, you know, it does look really good. So yeah, that's about it. Covered all the new tables and all the different things about it. did some comparisons. I think we've got enough information. This video, I'll leave this up so people can look at it and reference it back. But yeah, if you're new to Pinball, Pinball FX is great. If you're an old hand and you already got all the tables on Pinball FX 3, it's not really that great of a deal right now to move up unless you got a 4K cabinet. That would be the one caveat. I do know this summer at Games, they're going to be putting on their 4K Legends Pinball table. So maybe a lot of people will be interested in buying it for that. It does take a beefier PC to run it at 60 at 4K. So you got to have at least a 30 series is my guess. I don't know what the specs are for 4K. What's it say? Let's see. Oh, it's to the store page. So specs for this are not there. Where are the specs? Huh. It doesn't say. Well, maybe on Steam Deck it doesn't matter. That's probably what they're thinking. Like, why do you have to show specs on the Steam Deck? I can look at it really fast over here. Let's see. Specs of this. God, I was there. Pinball FX. There it is. Let's see. Specs on this. So the minimum that you want to have, well, they're saying you can get away with a 960, but that's not obviously at 4K. And then they're saying the recommended is a 2060. But I can tell you, I've got my PC here, and I can't get 4K 60 to run with ray tracing and lock it at 60. And it's got a 2080 Ti. So I really think you need a 30 series to do all the fancy stuff for it, right? To really take and maximize out everything you would want to see. That's what I expect. But I'll run some more tests on it. I don't think you can get all of that running and lock 60 in. I think it'll probably fluctuate. But do appreciate everybody for watching. If you haven't already, give the channel a subscribe, like the video, let others know about it. That'd be great because that gets the information out there before people start down the path of purchasing. If you're on Steam and if you're kind enough, go over and you'll see it's under eeFoGee, because they'll have the Steam Deck video linked to the review. Give that review a like if you find it interesting. And then also, if you think about it, check out the Curators page and follow me there because I do a lot of Steam Deck stuff. You know, the games that I play here on YouTube and put up on the videos, I link them all over there and also put in like reviews and that for games. So if you're interested in any of that, you want to find out, check that out. Greatly appreciate it. It helps get it more visible over on Steam as well, which allows people to learn more about the channel. So appreciate all the help. Everybody have a great Thursday afternoon or Thursday evening or Thursday morning, wherever you're at. And we will see each other next week with a whole nother schedule of live streams for new games coming out and checking out on Steam Deck. Have a great one, folks. Bye.